All right, so I saw some guesses and some I don't knows for what we were launching today. And there's a few different things. So we're going to start with something new. It's not a new product, but new colors, which I'm really excited about. So just a couple weeks ago, we launched together the Make It line, which was brand new kind of products. We got new stamps and stencils. Now we are expanding on the archival ink line. So I am going to go ahead and switch over to our top-down view so that we can take a look. And it's not the only thing. So if archival inks aren't your jam, which they should be, and I'll tell you why, if they're not your thing, we have some other stuff coming too, so stay tuned. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the top-down view, and we will go ahead and get crafty. All right, here we are, waiting for new Simon colors. Ooh, are we talking about, okay, this is not what we're launching today, but are we talking about the Stellar inks? I keep this on my desk all the time. I can't wait for more colors in this new line from Simon, but that's not what we're talking about today. We are talking about new archival inks, and I am super duper excited. Let me decide which order I want to give you these in. I'm thinking, let's start with something bright and fun for our spring vibes that some of us are getting. And we have our first color here, which is called Sweet Treat. It looks a little bit lighter in color on the camera right here. It is a bit more bright. Here it kind of almost looks like corally. It is a little bit more bright pink, kind of like saltwater taffy sort of vibe. So super cute. I really, really love this one. And what I did for you is I actually swatched everything out so that you can see what the colors look like when they are ink blended, direct to cardstock, and then stamped. That way you can kind of get an idea of what they look like and, you know, the different ways that you can use them. Obviously, you're not limited to these three, but three of the most common, I would say, ways to use these ink pads. So just a reminder, the archival inks are oil-based. So if you're thinking, do I need this because I already have the Distress Oxides or I already have the Distress inks? Need is subjective, but they are very different and they serve a different purpose. So these are like a permanent ink, but they are fade resistant, not Pepto. And these are, like I said, oil-based and waterproof. So while you can use the Distress Oxides and Distress inks and Simon's inks as well for watercolor techniques, these ones do not react with water. They are good for doing watercolor techniques and things like that. So if you want to use water, this is not going to be the ink. As far as if you want to use water and you want it to react. But if you want it to not react, then this is the ink for you. There's a lot of different things you can use them for, but I really love the versatility. They're great at stamping. And I will tell you, there's one thing that I wanted to talk about. Hopefully I can get this up here. It's a little washed out here. It's a little bright. But the stamp, when you stamp with these inks, sometimes they can look a little splotchy at first. Don't panic. So I used to think like, oh no, I'm not getting a good stamped impression. It's like blotchy sort of. But as the ink absorbs into the paper, it really smooths out and it is a beautiful impression. So if you get these and you feel like, oh no, they're either like dry or they're not giving you a good impression, just wait. They do look beautiful once you give it just a little bit of time to get into that paper. So in case you're like me and you're impatient and you're like, I need a perfect result immediately, just give it a couple seconds and it'll be better. Okay, so next color, let's see, what are we going with? We're going with this one. I think we're gonna go with this. Okay, the next one is Avocado Toast. What a fun name. I really love the color names for this release. This is a beautiful green. It fills some voids I didn't know that I had in my ink collections. And I really, really love this. Now, the color when it's blended is so gorgeous. I feel like it has a multi-tone sort of hue to it. So it has the brighter bits here. And I feel like my lighting is a little bit off because it's showing it a little bit darker. But the cool thing is that these give you a variation of colors almost. So like on the outer edge where it's really light here, it's closer to this green, like the light green color. And then the more you add, the more intense and sort of dark that color gets, which really is like the variations of avocado. I think it's so cool. It's a really neat color and I absolutely love this one. All right, so now we've got our avocado toast and our sweet treat. Let's go with, we're gonna go with a blue next because we can never have too many blues, right? This one is called Big Plans. This is a really pretty, almost royal blue kind of color. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love the way this one blends, but I also really love the stamped version as well. I just think it's so cool that you can get such a different color depending on how much you apply. So if you've got the really light ink, you've got really light blue. The more you apply, the darker and more intense that gets. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And of course, the most pigmented is going to be that direct to cardstock ink technique, or I call it ink swiping, when you just right on the cardstock there. And we're going to do a little bit of that here in just a little while. So that is our third color. I don't know, which one's your favorite so far, friends? Are we loving all of them? I love them to bits. They're so pretty. All right, the next color that we are launching is called Best Dressed. And at first glance, I thought this was black, but it is actually a really, really beautiful blue. So it is a very dark blue. I am absolutely obsessed with the way this looks. I don't have another ink, I don't think, that is this color. It's just so rich and beautiful. I'm obsessed with it. So really dark blue, but you can see you can get that transition of the color as well with the lighter blue look and then darker as you add more ink to it. It's so gorgeous. I'm obsessed. The avocado sounds, yes, blue, pink, and green in that order. Okay, and we've got some avocado fans. I love avocado in general. I'm a big guacamole fan, so I kind of lean towards that as well. But honestly, I don't know, this one might be my favorite. But the cool thing is that a lot of these colors actually go really well together, and we're going to use some of them together here in just a little bit. So that leads me into our next color, which is Sandcastle, which goes so beautifully with this blue and with this green. Honestly, they all really work well together. Maybe not at first glance, but when you start using them, you're like, oh, that's such a cool combo. And this one is no exception. I really love that. Nice. It's kind of like a grayish. It's got a little bit of that kind of gray tone to it, but it's like a beautiful light tan color. This one I stamped extra times, hoping that you'd be able to see it a little bit more on the camera here. Yes, beach vibes, right? It's so perfect. I don't know. I'm a sucker for like good color palettes, you know? And these ones are no exception. They all look so beautiful together, and I know that we're going to be able to use them for some really fun projects. All right, our last color is dark roast. This is for all you coffee lovers. I don't like coffee, but I love this color. It is really beautiful, a nice, rich, dark brown, kind of cocoa vibes almost. The dark blue now wins my heart. Yes. Yeah, I can already tell it will work so well with, yes, it's so cool. Sarah, I know the colors work really well together, and I'm really glad that they were released with this. They're such a good collection to use together. Yes, I love the archival inks too. They're so good. And I honestly feel like they're underrated, to be honest. I feel like some people, like there's so many things you can do with other inks too, like the water reactive ones. And you know, I have a soft spot for those. I love those. But these ones are so good for the things you can't use those other ones for, and some of the things you can. So you can use them for some of the same things, and there's other techniques that, you know, you could do with one and not the other, and you could do with this one, but not that one. But yeah, this dark brown is beautiful. And then as you can tell, obviously they go really well together. So you've got the dark and the light. And then we've got two blues that can go together. We've got this pink and this blue, or this pink and blue. Honestly, the pink and green here. There's so many good color combinations here, and I'm obsessed. All right, so now that you've seen all 6 of the archival colors, now you have to let me know which one's your favorite. So I'm hearing we like the rich brown. Do we still love the avocado toast the most, my friends who were avocado toast fans? I'm really loving all of these. They're so beautiful. We're obsessed too. Yes. Okay, so while we're looking at colors, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the new products too, because then that way we look at everything together. You can see what there is, and then we will start creating. It's good to have different ink formulas. You're so right. Fave is the dark blue. It's so beautiful. I love that one too. And I think I love them best with the color combinations just because I can see how beautiful they work together. You love the toast. Yes. All right. So before I move on, I will tell you that these are also available in the re-inkers as well. So we do have a re-inker for each of those in case you need that. In a previous release, I did show some techniques for using some of the re-inkers. So if you're interested, you can look at that. Patty, can you tell me, are the live videos are still on the channel, right? So last year when we did an archival release, we did the archival inks, and there were, I can't remember if it was 6 colors. It might have been 8. I don't know. But we did a release like this, and it had like cayenne and wine cellar and a few other really beautiful colors, like aubergine, and we had a whole conversation about how to pronounce aubergine. I don't know. Anyway. But the video, I think, is still on there. I'll go, oh, thank you so much, Patty. I appreciate you. But I showed some techniques in there on how to use the archival, the re-inkers, because they are good with alcohol. You can actually use them on the Yupo paper, and you can blend them really well with just a drop of the re-inkers. So because they're the waterproof, they do react better with the alcohol. The alcohol paper is perfect for that. Will they be in the minis? That is a good question. I think right now they are only available in the full-size pads. They may come later in the minis, but hopefully Patty will be able to tell us when she comes back. I'm not 100% sure. I believe right now they're only in the full size, but we will double check. Okay, but so we've got the re-inkers. You can re-ink your pad with them, of course, but you can also use them for techniques, and just a tiny little drop goes such a long way for these colors. Because it is so pigmented, you really don't need much. It's great. I really love that you can use those not just for re-inking, but for your techniques as well. Okay, so the next thing that we are launching is a collection of liquid pearls. So I'm obsessed with liquid pearls. I feel like I'm saying I'm obsessed with everything, but it's true. I am. And we are, they're not color coordinated, so they don't necessarily match these colors, but they are a beautiful collection that are going to be great for all of your projects coming up. So if you're not familiar with liquid pearls, they are a sort of an accent, like a dimensional liquid acrylic paint, sort of, that is like glossy, pearlescent, sort of. Liquid pearls, they're kind of pearlescent, you know. So they dry permanently, and you can use them on fabric, you can use them on paper, any of those surfaces that you could use acrylic paint on, you can use the liquid pearls. And then you can do a lot of different techniques with them. So you can use a brush for detailed work. You can add water to them, which I love to do, to add sort of a watercolor effect. You can also add it as an accent, just sort of like on your designs as you will. But it has a nice easy flow tip for precision application, and then you can create those dimensions nice and quick and easy. So we have a ton of colors already. They come in a cute little bottle, and I'll show you this one first. This is so beautiful, and it's called Rubber Duck. Aptly named, right? So there's a lot of different colors already available, but these ones are beautiful, and I think they're great additions to the collection. So this one, like I said, is called Rubber Duck. It is a beautiful yellow color, and I do also have swatches of these for you so that you can see what these look like. There are no minis in the works for these at this. Thank you so much, Patty. I really appreciate you. So not right now for the minis, but hopefully maybe in the future. I don't know. You can always let Ranger know if there's something you would like to see. But you know, they're always really good about listening to feedback and listening to what you guys are interested in seeing. All right, so that's that for our liquid pearl. My lighting is a little bit bright when I try to get it close, but it is dimensional. I'm not sure if you can tell that from this swatch here, but what I did is I did 3 dots. I did a little squiggle, and then I also did a heart shape. So you can see you can fill in shapes with these as well, and they give you a nice dimensional accent on your cards. So if you're not familiar with liquid pearls, there they are. All right, so that's our first color. Our second color is going to be sweet potato. Really pretty color here, kind of like a nice burnt orange sort of color. And I really love the way this one dried. Look at that. Oh, there you can see the shine. So pretty. I really love all of these colors. And like I said, they don't necessarily color coordinate with the archival inks, but they are a beautiful addition. All of these colors are going to be so great on all our projects. So while we're in these warm colors, let's go ahead and look at our red as well. This one's called Firecracker. And then we've got our swatch here as well. Nice and shiny and shimmery there. I really like that the color names are so fun. I know that this is probably a really silly thing to be excited about, but I really love when the color names are like either punny or, I don't know, they're just fun. It makes me really excited. I'm more likely to buy something with a cute product name. Our next color is Kiwi, which is super adorable, bright green color. Absolutely love this one. Can you use with jelly printing? Absolutely. I use these as with my gel plates. The only thing that I would say is that you will want to be a little bit more cautious as far as cleaning up, just because if you do leave kind of a wider, I don't know if wider is the best word, but a thicker amount on your gel plate, it can cause more like buildup, and not cracking on the gel plate itself, but like in your designs, there's going to be a lot more of a thickness there. So for me, I don't necessarily clean my gel plate every single time I use it, but when I use liquid pearls, I do. So I tend to clean it if I'm not really extensively removing all of the product. If you pull it right away and it's a thin layer, you won't have to worry about that. But if you put like a thicker amount on it, then I would definitely clean it after you use it. Okay, yes, you cheated. Emerald it is. This color is absolutely gorgeous. A very beautiful contrasting green. Look at all the colors. They're going to look so good together, you guys. Look at that pink and the green is going to look so good together. The blue, they all just look so good. Like I said, they're not color coordinating, but like they go well together. They look so nice. So that is the emerald. And then we also have a blue. Are we excited for blue? I think we got some blue fans in here. This one is almost like an in-between color of our big plans and our best dressed color. So it's almost between the two. A bit of, I don't know. It's got a little bit of this darkness here, but it's also very bright and vibrant as well. This one's called Blue Velvet. Absolutely gorgeous. I think I'm just going to say that for everything because it's true. I've never used on my jelly plate. Yes, definitely. Oh, the yellow is beautiful. Blue is always a winner. Yes. Yeah, I do use them. And I really like the way they look. It's really cool. Green is my signature color. Yes. We do a lot of green around here because my son is in Irish dance, and we end up making Irish dance projects. So the greens are definitely winners for me. Our next color is a beautiful purple. This one is called Royalty. I don't feel like we have enough purples in our color ranges. I love purple so much. Purple was my favorite color for a really, really long time. I have since gone over to like the mint dark side. But purple will always hold a special place in my heart. And I feel like purple is underrepresented in our craft stashes. So this is amazing. I absolutely love that. Oh, so beautiful. All right, and then we've got one more before we get crafty, and it is a staple. It's called truffle. Love the food names. And this is a really pretty kind of mid-range brown color, but it has almost a little bit of kind of a champagne look to it. If you get the lighting on the brighter sides, it has that little bit of champagne sort of look, but it's a beautiful brown. New to jelly plates, but how would you clean it off? All right, so this is a hotly debated topic, I think, for jelly plates. And it depends on who you ask. Some people use a baby wipe. Some people use just water. Some people use, like, there are solutions that you can get, like a cleaner for the gel plates. Some people never clean them. It just depends on who you ask. It depends on what I'm using. If you're using it and then cleaning it right away, a baby wipe will probably do fine. Now, the only thing to be worried about with baby wipes is they can sometimes leave behind little itty bitty fibers. So you may not want to do that, but you can. Some really mildly warm water is usually enough. But if there's a really thick buildup and you need to scrub gently, you could maybe use a microfiber cloth and do that. The only thing is, don't use anything sharp. You don't want to like pick at it with your hands because it can scratch the jelly plate, and then you will have that mark in your prints forever. So that is what it is. But yeah, hotly debated topic, how to clean a jelly plate. Yes, of course. Yeah, I'm obsessed. All the colors are so good. And now that we've seen them all, that we know everything that is coming, we can go ahead and get some crafting in. Does that sound good? So I'm going to go ahead and put all of our archival inks over to the side for now. And I think we're going to go in reverse order. We're not going to take the longest card first this time. That's what we did last time. But now we're going to use some of these products and see what we can do with them. Last time we did the longest project first, and then I kind of ran out of time. So I want to make sure I don't do that. So we're going to do the other two first and then see where we get. Let's see here. I tend to get too chatty sometimes, friends, and then I don't move as quickly as I should. Also, I think it's good to be realistic about how we're crafting, right? I feel like we see so many videos of crafters making things and they do it so fast. And then, like, we don't realize that everybody's speeding their videos up. Like, nobody is actually creating that quickly. It's all just movie magic, right? So it's nice to sometimes be reminded that even when we see the videos and the movie magic and all of that, it's not necessarily how it actually happened. And you can cut out all of the things that are catastrophic that happen when you're filming and then posting it later. All right, so to get started, we are going to use some archival inks on a background stamp. And we're actually going to use this guy from Simon Hurley. Oh, Virginia, thank you. You're right, Sarah. Crafting, it's not a rush job. Creating is a process of joy. Okay, so we're going to use this background stamp here. Now, this one is from Simon Hurley. You can use whatever background stamp you want. But this one is a really pretty one. It kind of came out recently, within the last month or so, maybe. Patty will know. She knows everything. It came out fairly recently, maybe at least in the new year. I don't know. But we're going to use some browns on this one. I know our normal kind of reaction would be to go for and use maybe green or something like that. But I want to kind of change it up a little bit and use some brown. So we're going to start with our sandcastle. And I'm going to go down here in the middle and apply some ink. Yeah, from his latest release. Yes. I found Video Maker assumes we know certain steps and that important step is left out. Ooh, that's good to know. Sometimes when you're creating as a content creator, it is hard because you feel like, oh, well, I'm always saying the same thing, like this same step. And, well, obviously they know how to do it already because we've seen it in a million videos before. But you have to go into it kind of thinking like, well, maybe that person hasn't seen any of the videos, so they don't know how to do it. When I used to work in customer service, they said, treat every customer like it's the first customer of the day. And that really stuck with me because it's so true. While I'm talking about not skipping steps, I want to tell you what I was just doing. I applied the lighter color ink first. Then I went over it with the darker ink at the top. And then I used just a microfiber cloth that's really dirty and gross to kind of blot off some of the ink to create more of an ombre sort of effect. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put that on here. The result is probably not going to be perfect, and that is okay. We are embracing imperfection. And my fingers are getting dirty already. I love that red rubber stamps are back too. Yeah, they're really good. They leave such a good impression. Oh my gosh. Okay, I said it wasn't going to be perfect, and it's not, but it is kind of close. Look at that ombre. That is so beautiful. I went a little further down than I wanted to. I didn't intend to go quite that far down, but that's okay. I was intending originally to kind of fade off at the bottom, but I forgot to do that step because I was busy chatting. What I originally had planned was to kind of ombre, dark to light, and then sort of fizzle out at the bottom so there was nothing and we'd have room for a sentiment down here. But the colors look beautiful together, so I'm not going to worry about it, and we are just going to go with it. So with that, we then also have this really great stamp set that I use all the time. Nor my 12. You know what? Sometimes miracles happen. Sometimes you get it on your first try. I thought it wasn't going to turn out right, but love that you're placing the paper on top of the stamp. Oh yeah, that's an interesting thought also. So I don't like to stamp like this because I can't see what I'm doing. I just do it like this. You don't need any sort of stamp positioner or anything. You just flip your paper right over and plop it down, smooth it out, and then you got a nice background. And the rubber stamps do make it easy. All right, so then we also have this guy. This is a thanks stamp. I really use this one a lot. It is such a good one. It's from one of the older collections called Letter It, and it is gorgeous. It's so versatile. You can use it for everything. So what we're going to do is go in with our dark color now. So we're going to use that archival ink. We're not going to use a trillion supplies because we don't have to. We can make beautiful cards with what we have. All right, so I've got my stamp here, and if this is not a perfect stamp, it's okay because we're actually going to cover it. So let's try to get it as centered as we can, which is a challenge all in and of itself. Beautiful. Okay, so if you notice here, I don't know if you can tell. You probably can't tell in the video. It is slightly splotchy. The color isn't 100% even yet, like I mentioned earlier. It darkens and kind of absorbs into the paper over time, and it gives you a nice, beautiful result. So don't worry about it. If you feel like it's not a perfect stamp right away, just give it a little time. It's a really cool way that the inks kind of work with the paper. But we're actually covering it, so we don't have to worry about it at all. Even if it was like totally splotchy and terrible, we don't have to worry about it. Thank you for sharing that, Patty. What we're going to do is actually take our liquid pearls and go over top of this sentiment. So I'm going to put this paper towel here just so I can kind of get it ready. Learn from me and don't do what I have done in the past, which is squeeze it over your project first. Sometimes there are tiny little air bubbles in there, and it will squirt all over your project and you will be so sad. So just do like a tiny little test first on another surface over here, and then you can go about applying it after that, but that way you don't ruin it just by adding too much right at first or the little air in there. So all I'm doing is just going right over top of the sentiment, So this is nice because you don't have to have the control, right? You don't have to have great handwriting because whoever illustrated this stamp had beautiful handwriting, and you're just tracing over it and applying that as your sentiment. So this is going to give you a dimensional effect so that you have a raised sentiment. Now this is going to take a little while to dry. This is a little bit thick. You can squeeze a little bit lighter, so not with as much pressure, and then your result will dry a little bit faster. But you are going to need to set this aside and let it dry completely. But I just wanted to show that this is one of the really fun ways that you can use your liquid pearls. You're not just limited to using them as accents. They're really cool to use like this. Okay, so that's what that looks like. I'll show you the card in here in just a second. I did also go in and add in some fun little dots. When I did the other card, I did it only on the tips of the leaves. But this time I'm going to go in and do it on the stems. No real, rhyme or reason here. Just add them where you like them. Like that, just to kind of add some interest and make it a little more interesting. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple, and you can vary the size. Some smaller dots, some larger dots. It just depends on how hard you squeeze it. And I like to just take the tip and kind of wipe it on my paper towel just to clear any globs off, and then you're done. All right, so we're going to set this one aside. Oof, I almost stuck my finger right in it. We're going to set that aside, but you can see the dimension, hopefully, there. And then I'll show you the dried version. Boom. So that's what it looks like once it has completely dried. Let me find somewhere to set this guy. Over here so I don't get anything on it. But this one is completely dry, but it has that texture, that dimension, and it has the shine too, which is so beautiful. Look at that. Ooh. And then you can see the little dots here that I got. So, an easy, simple card. The only thing that's going to take you a bunch of time is waiting for it to dry. And even then, it's not terrible. Just like do it before you go to bed and then come back in the morning and it'll be ready. But I don't know. I love that. I think it's a really cool technique and a really cool way to stretch your supplies, which I'm all about if you've watched any of my content. All right. So our next project is going to use some of the brown inks as well. So I'm going to get a new piece of cardstock out, and I am going to show you a fun trick for making a wood grain background. This is one of my favorite things to do. I don't know why. It just is a really cool technique, and it's easy. You don't need a bunch of supplies or anything. I'm going to use my acrylic block as a ruler, and my mat here has like a grid on it, which makes it easy. You could certainly use a scoreboard or something like that, but I'm just going to use a bone folder and go right over. Hi, Christine. Welcome. We're just going to do a little bit of scoring about every inch or so. And you're going to be like, what in the world? I'm not folding this, I promise. I'm just going to leave it, but the scoring gives built-in texture, which is really cool. And one more here for good measure. Okay. So I'm not sure if you can see that. Like I said, my lighting is a little bright when you get up close here, but hopefully you can see faintly, at least, the little lines that I've scored into the cardstock here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take these browns again. The browns are the star of the show today. I'm starting with the sandcastle, and I'm going to start on the side with the ink pad directly on the cardstock, and I'm going in and sort of lifting up as I go towards the center. So your darker color should be out here, and it'll get lighter as you go in. Okay, we're just gonna keep doing that like so. Okay, so we're getting some dark color, and you might be able to start seeing the lines as we apply the ink, because they won't go as deep into that section as the other parts. If you get a smear like that, don't worry about it. It's all part of the charm. No worries at all. All right, we're going to even add a little bit on the side here, maybe like a couple little, sure, like that, couple little smears, right? Okay. And then we're going to go in with our dark color. So this is the dark roast. We're going to do the same thing, but a little less far in. So we're trying to intensify the dark color around the outside, but leave that center a little bit lighter, right? And this kind of gives you the effect of sort of like a wood board background. And I'm going to do just a couple little, on the edge, the very edge here, just a couple little scrapes of the darker color, just to give it a little bit more personality, I guess. And then there you go. So it's kind of a neat way to get sort of a wood look, like a wood floor. Hopefully you can see those creases in there. I feel like the camera is not doing it justice. But there you go. We've got a wood grain background. And then what we're going to do is actually pair this with some stenciling. So we are actually going full on mixed media over here for a card. The only thing we're not doing is adding any sort of like liquid or paste or anything. Roast, not toast. Yeah. Dark roast. I guess it could be dark toast. Burnt. It would be burnt toast by that point, probably. I'm not going to bother taping this down because we're just doing like a little bit. But I'm going to grab a blending tool here. We're going to use that dark roast. Wait, are we going to use that dark roast? Yes. I had to look at my card to remember which color I used. So we're going to go ahead and put this right here. We're not applying a ton of pressure. Super light, just gently going over this. So we were using the dark color, but we're not being super heavy-handed, okay? And then look at that. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, I love the way that this looks so much. And we're going to do just a little bit down here as well. Hello, Joe. Welcome on in. And then we've got that as well. Like, look how gorgeous that is. It just really elevates the look. These brown colors go so well together. Sandcastle and dark roast. They're just gorgeous. Okay, but we're not done yet. We're going to add another element that is going to make it even more pretty. And that is extra stamping. I know, Cindy, I am actually extremely heavy-handed. So I know what you mean. I write super hard, and I struggle a lot to really not be heavy-handed. We're going to use this Dina Wakley stamp. We're going to use some of these bird images. They're so pretty. So what I'm going to do is get these onto my background or my acrylic block here so I can stamp on our background like this. Me too, me too. The heavy-handed part is difficult to break. Sometimes it helps though, because you can get really nice ink blended backgrounds, but other times it can be catastrophic. All right, so I'm gonna go in maybe kind of at an angle like this, and I'm gonna go off the page. So I'm not using the whole stamp set, but kind of along the line here, like that. Oof, look how pretty that is. And if it's not perfect, don't worry. This is not about perfect stamping. It's not about any of that. You just go with the flow and make it how you want. And recognize that what you want may not always exactly turn around like how you expected, but that doesn't make it wrong, or, you know, it doesn't mean you need to throw it away and start over. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit up here. So we've got a little bit of the bird image up there. I'm going to go ahead and get some of the ink off there. And then let's see. I think I used this guy. Her collage paper, Dina does have really cool stuff. The designs are very interesting. They're not like other stamps that I've seen. I think she has a really cool sort of vibe. All right, let's do maybe kind of like off down here like that. So we get a little bit of the bird, but not like the whole thing. All right, so we're done with our birdies. Let's set those aside, and we're coming back in with two things. So one is going to be, where did I think it's actually from this Simon Hurley set. Let me double check. Yep. All right, we're pulling out another stamp set. We're going to use this here again in just a second, though. We're going to use just this I love you stamp for our bottom bit here. Okay. Thank you so much, Patty, for sharing the links to everything. You're so good. All right. I was going to use the brown, but I think I've changed my mind. I think I'm actually going to use black. Just so that it stands out just a little bit more, because we've got these dark colors here. So I'm going to use the Stellar ink here. I generally like to do this the other way, where, let's see. I don't want to get too much on my acrylic block, so I try to be gentle with it. But I'm going to go ahead and stamp this on here. Ready? Here we go. All right, so we have I love you. Okay. And then to finish this part off, we are going in with yet another stamp. I'm a little stamp crazy today, friends. We're going to use this other Dina Wakley set, which is one of my favorites from her. I think this is probably one of my most used stamps from her, just because it's really versatile. It's an alpha block. Patty can tell us, I think. I can't remember what it's called. It's called Block Alphas, not Alpha Block. Block Alphas. And this is a really cool one too, because you can use this for a ton of different stuff. It is really fun to work with Ranger. The people are amazing, and of course the products are fun. So we're gonna go right above there and then just stamp that right on. Hi, I love you. It's so cute. Oh, I'm obsessed. I love it so much. Okay, so all then we need to do is put this on a card base and we are done. Let me go ahead and get one out for us. Look at that. Do I have some glue? That is going to be the question. I think I forgot to put glue over here. Let me see if my glossy accents are ready to be used. Yeah, hold on one second. Let me grab some glue. I somehow managed to forget the glue. Well, somewhere in here, there's glue. What did I do with the glue? Oh boy, I've lost my glue, friends. How does a crafter lose the glue? That's wild. I can't believe that. Well, hello. Oh, and then I just dropped that one on the floor. Oh, my goodness. The craft zone is falling apart, friends. I don't know how I managed that. Well, I'm going to use this old one for now. Usually I would use the multimedia matte. It's got to be around here somewhere. I just had it for our last live, so I know it's around here. Oh my gosh, it's staring me right in the face. Oh, you guys, it's sitting literally right here. But that's what happens when you clean up as a crafter who doesn't normally clean up very well, is things are put away and perfectly where they're supposed to be, and then you can't find them. Oh boy. Well, glad you guys could be a part of the crafty madness that is my life. But there it is. There's the multi-matte medium. That's what I would normally have used. So we'll use that for the next one. All right, so quick and easy. It didn't take a lot, no drying time on this one, and it's really cool. It's textured, it's dimensional, it's cool, but it's still a one-layer card, right? That's really neat. I really love that one. Okay, so that is that one. And then our third card, our third and final project, is going to be using Simon Hurley's Berry Best stamp set. So we're gonna do a couple different things here. I lose socks. Oh no. Not the reading glasses. Oh man. That's crazy. Oh, man. You guys are such a fun bunch of people to be creating with. I appreciate you guys being here. Yes, the dog. I knew what you meant. All right, what are we using here? We're going to use blue, we're going to use pink, and we're going to use green. I think that is it. I wanted to double check and try to make sure I have everything we need. If it was a snake, it would have bit you. It sure would have. That would have bit me and I would have been a goner. All right, so what we're going to do is take out that Berry Best set, but we're also going to use Very Berry, which is a stencil set. So this one is not just one stencil, but it's actually 3 stencils. So we're going to start with the strawberries. And you might be thinking, oh no, but we don't have a red in this collection. But that is okay. We are actually going to use the pink. And it actually looks so cute. I'm really, really in love with how it looks. So I think I like this direction. We're going to get that and the pink. This one was called Sweet Treat. And we're going to go ahead and do some ink blending. So I'm not going to be super heavy-handed here if I can help it. I'm going to be fairly light, and I like that it has like a mottled sort of appearance. You can certainly do perfect ink blending if you want, but I kind of like where some of them have darker splotches, just because in real life, you know, nothing is perfectly uniform in color, and your strawberries certainly wouldn't be either. So it kind of gives it a little bit more interest if you leave it imperfect versus doing a full heavy coat of ink. All right. There we go. Love that. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but we've got the splotchiness. It makes it look more like art. I don't know, it's cute. What's your favorite rich black ink? Oof, that's hard. Although right now, my favorite black ink is the Simon Hurley Stellar ink, the Black Widow. It's so good. I don't think I've found another ink that is so richly pigmented and coats so well. I am admittedly a Misty user for sure, because I'm not super great at getting good impressions the first time. So I tend to use the Misty just because, like I said, I'm not super great at getting that impression. But with the Simon Hurley ink, it really is easy. I don't have that problem. And I'm really able to get good results, and I can use an acrylic block and not have to worry about it, which is amazing. All right, so for this stencil, all you have to do is line it up so that the little cutout bits go into where those strawberries are. And then that way you know exactly where you're supposed to be putting it. Now my washi tape ripped on the back here, so I'm going to go ahead and use another piece. I like when the object runs off the edge. Me too. It makes it look more natural, I think. I don't know. My favorite was Rise and Shine, Meet the Bejeweled Morning. Ooh, I missed that one before, but that's an interesting phrase. I don't think I've heard that before. We're going to use the avocado toast, not avocado roast. We've got to get our colors right. And we're going to go directly over top of it. So some of the colors are going to be different because I'm blending on white versus blending on pink. So it's not going to be exact. They're going to look different, and that is okay. I'm trying to embrace imperfection. So you'll probably hear me talking about that a lot. I am a huge perfectionist. So it is hard for me sometimes to let go and just let whatever happens and have it not be perfect and have that be okay. But it's worth it. Do it. All right, so we're layering those colors. Look how beautiful. They look so good together. And even where it overlaps, the color looks gorgeous. We're gonna go ahead then and take this one next. So then all you have to do is figure out, if I kept them the right order, it would have been, or the right orientation, that would help. So I just have to figure out which order they go in. Let's see. These are supposed to be the stems and the little strawberry bits. So what I want to do first is I was going this way. Figure out which direction they go. I might have this upside down. Maybe not. I can still see the ink on it on this side from when I blended it last. Let me see. The problem is that I wait, no, that's not it. Rats. The problem is that I didn't, oh, maybe here. Got it. Okay, I figured it out. You line the stem up with where the green part is, and then the little seedy bits go on the sides there. Maybe what would be a good idea, and what I should do, is label which side is up. So maybe with like a Sharpie or something, you could just put in the corner like a little heart or a little star or even like an arrow or something on each of the stencils so that you always know which side goes up. And then that way all you'll have to do is kind of find the right placement, but you won't have to worry about which orientation is right. So yes. But yeah, there we go. All right. So they go right on each other like that. Now I would normally use black, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use our new color, Dark Roast, and it's going to be beautiful. Now you could certainly use green. We could do both. We could use green for some of the stems. We could use not green for some of the stems. This is a personal preference. Whatever you prefer. I'll do it for some and not for the others so you can kind of see the difference. So I'm kind of just going on the edge of the ink blending tool for the seedy bits. Let's see. Seeds. Let me try to get them all. And then we'll go back to the green for a second. And we'll just go in some of those. They're going to be a little bit darker, and that's okay. And do we miss any up here maybe? Oops, I missed a brown one right here. There we go. All right, so just try to make sure that you get everything coated. And we'll take that off. Look how adorable that is. Is that not super cute? It looks so fun. It's so bright and juicy. I just want to eat them. And who cares that they're pink, right? At first when I was like, oh, can I make pink strawberries? I don't know. And then I went for it, and I'm so glad I did because I think it looks adorable. All right, so the next step is to get us some stamped images. So we're going to take that Very Best stamp set, and I already went ahead and heat embossed a sentiment for us. So we have that right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp out on just some scratch cardstock here, the images here. Now, what I did when I stamped these out is, I lost my acrylic block. What I did is I used the blue instead. You could use the brown. You could use black as well, but, you know, personal preference. But I just wanted to showcase what we can do with the colors that we have. So this is a new collection of colors, and I just wanted to show you how versatile they are. So we're going to go ahead and pick that little guy up. We're going to use, gosh, everything's getting lost on my desk, isn't it? Not that one. We're going to use the Best Dressed color, and we're just going to go ahead and ink that up and stamp it. Oh, we got a little bit. Let's give it a little more juice. We'll get a little bit of a better stamped impression there. There we go. Beautiful. Sometimes the first time you use the stamp, like in a new session, it doesn't always like have all the ink quite as juicy as you want. But you just go ahead and stamp it again. There we go. Okay, so we've got our blue, and then we're gonna go ahead and use this green one. This is a filler stamp. I really think it's cool that Simon does this because there is a large portion of people who don't like to color. And that is totally fine. And if you don't like to color, but you still want your images to be colored, this is such a great way to do that. If this is not perfectly lined up, usually my head would be like right over top of it. So sorry if if it's not perfect. It doesn't look 100% perfect, but it's close. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to stamp it again right over here, and it just fills in that color really beautifully. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. That's ridiculous, right? I think this is such a cool thing. What a cool way to color your stamps in. I'm going to go ahead and actually do this one more time just to get that center bit in. Okay. So now we've even got two different colors. So if you stamp it again, you get a darker color, then you've got your lighter color. And they'll actually look really nice together because they will not be identical. You know what I mean? All right, so then we've also got this little strawberry that I'm going to use. We're going to do it in pink because we like pink strawberries around here. All right, and I'm going to do one more just in case anything goes wrong with the other one. All right, we got our strawberry, and then we got to figure out which top goes with it. Let's see. It looks like this one. Okay, so we're going to use our green again. Super versatile. Zoop. And I wasn't completely lined up, but it's okay. I'll stamp this one too in case we want to use it. There we go. Okay, and is that all we need? 1, 2. Oh, you know what? I forgot to stamp the outline. I was wondering why it looked different. I forgot to stamp the outline. Okay, so you can do it in two different ways. You can stamp the colored bit first or the outline first. Usually I do the outline first and then try to line up the colored inside, but let's see how it works with doing the stamp this way. So then you've got the colored bit and then you have to just line up. Sorry, my head's gonna be maybe in the camera for a second. I'm trying to get this lined up nice and straight. I'm not convinced I'm like totally lined up, but we'll see what happens. It was close. It was close. I got a little bit on the bottom there that didn't quite go in, but it actually looks really cool that you can stamp with the blue and not use the black all the time. I don't know. I feel like we all default to black. Gotta run. Oh, thanks so much for being here. Have a great day. All right. So what we're going to do is your all least favorite part. I hear that you guys don't like fussy cutting that much. But unfortunately, we're going to do a little bit of fussy cutting today. So we're going to go right around the outside edge here. Like so. We're almost already done. Can you believe it? I can't believe we've been here for an hour already. I just have so much fun hanging out with you guys that time flies. It's kind of crazy. Well, let's go right around the edge here. Okay, we got our first guy there. And you can be as detailed with these leaves as you want or as not detailed as you want. So you don't have to go into every nook and cranny. You can just kind of give a general shape. You don't have to constantly, you know, be like, oh, I have to make it exactly the same width all the way around. That can kind of be a little stressful. It doesn't have to be perfect. People will not even probably notice it at all. So it's not worth our heartache and headache to try to make it perfect all the way. All right. Almost done with our leaf, and then we're going to do one more leaf, and then we will be ready to start assembling. Well, I do have one more thing to do before we fully assemble everything. All right, there's that one. And then we're going to do this one. And I really do like how varied that color can be if you stamp twice versus just once, because this light green color is so different than the darker green of stamping it twice. And I think that's a really cool way, like a built-in way, to stretch your supplies. Really neat. All right, I'm trying to go as quick as I can. It may not be my best fussy cutting, but it'll be okay. We're almost there. And I did already heat emboss the sentiment. So when we get to that part, I used some blue. Well, I didn't have blue cardstock actually. I used the blue ink to color the cardstock first. And then I went back and heat embossed on it once it was dry for our sentiment here. So this blue color is actually the Big Plans color. So I just direct swiped onto the cardstock, and then once it dried, I went ahead and heat embossed on it. So I treated it with the anti-static powder, stamped it with the embossing ink, and then tapped off the excess and melted it. All right, so we needed a matte, but I didn't have any coordinating blue cardstock, and I wanted it to be a nice match. So I just went ahead and went right around the outside and made myself some coordinating cardstock. So all you have to do is just rub the ink pad directly on your cardstock, and you get a perfectly color matched background. And you don't have to fill the whole thing in because we're not going to be able to see the whole thing. And yes, I'm getting messy. So if you don't like that, you could do it like this, like that, and not hold on to it like I do. But yeah, so you can just lay it on the cardstock just like with a scrap paper underneath and go that way. And that'll give you the same result. But this is like my badge of honor. Oh, what do you do? I create things. All right, so then we're just gonna go and put that right on, and look how cute that is. Now I can use my adhesive that was sitting right in front of my face and put it directly on the back here. A little goes a long way with wet glue, so you really don't need to add terribly much. A thin layer is totally fine and prevents oozing. So we're gonna go ahead and get that nice and lined up. You love fussy cutting. You're probably in the minority. I feel like so many people, whenever I'm fussy cutting, they're like, oh, I hate fussy cutting. All right, so we've got that. And then we're also going to go ahead and put a card base down. Do I have a card base here? It looks like we're going to use a side fold. Ooh, I'm getting ink on my project. That is one reason, I guess, to not do it the way I'm doing it, is to not get ink all over your project. Let's make that the back, shall we? All right. We're going to go ahead and put a little glue on the back here. Sounds a lot happier and more impressive than I do hospital computer support. I don't know. That sounds fancy to me. I feel sometimes a little weird, you know, when people are like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I do arts and crafts with people on the internet. I don't know. It can just be a little weird, you know. In our niche, it sounds normal, but to other people, it does not sound normal. All right, let's go ahead and put some glue on the back of these guys as well and get them onto, ooh, that was a little bit much. Let's take some of that glue and use it over here. We're gonna add these to our card here. Let's see, I'm thinking we'll kind of fan them out like this maybe. And I like them to kind of hang off the edge a little bit. Let's see, and then we're gonna go this way. Again, as with everything, it doesn't have to be perfect. We are just creating, and the joy of it is enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. Crafting should not be the thing that stresses you out. It should be the thing that brings you joy, right? All right, so now we've got our strawberry, and I'm going to go ahead and pop up this sentiment on some foam tape. An online art instructor, that sounds fancier. I think you're onto something. Maybe I'll start doing that. I think when I introduced myself in this video, I said I was a creative person on the internet. I don't know. What are we even doing, friends? Well, we are in the home stretch right here. We are done with our card pretty much. Look at this. So I'm going to overlap it just slightly so it's interesting on the side there. Look how cute that is. Is that not an adorable card? All right, so if you're feeling like you want to do something more, you could also add in some of the liquid pearls. So like, let's say we wanted to add in like just on the stems or something, right? Like you could do that. Stem. And this would just be kind of like a pop of color. Obviously, we're going to have to wait for that to dry, but you could add them just for the stems like that and just add something, you know, a little bit of a pop. You could also add, I mean, honestly, anything, but if you wanted to, you could like on this one, let me follow my own directions and do a test squeeze first, but you can, all right, there we go. Like on this little guy here, you could do the seeds in the blue. Look how cute that is. Honestly, you could have also done them in the truffle color. So that was the blue velvet that I just used, but the truffle color would have been super cute too. But that gives you a little bit of dimension. And then you could also just take like a gel pen and kind of go into some of these and just, I forgot. Somebody call the craft police. I smudged my card. I forgot that being left-handed is a curse in creativity sometimes. I smeared my ink there. That's okay. But you can just take your gel pen and kind of go in and add, you know, a couple little accents or something. That's just a white gel pen. But yeah, see, I smeared it right there. That's okay. But yeah, so you can add accents. Just don't be like me. Make sure you remember they're there after you just added them. And then your card is done. So here's the other one that I made where I didn't add the accents. So I made this one, but I did add some white gel pen like I just did here. And I think it looks super cute. I actually kind of like the lighter color of the strawberries on this one. But yeah, so now we've got cards. Now I've made 2 of everything. But we have some really fun projects. I'm going to pull this one over even though it's not dry. And we can see what we created today. But yeah, I don't know. I hope you guys love the liquid pearls and the archival inks from today's release. Let me go ahead and switch back over to our other view. Hang tight. There I am. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I am so grateful that each of you was here and commented and kind of was part of the journey creating. It makes it really fun and exciting. And I'm really thankful to have you guys here. And I know Ranger is too. So that is it for our release today. So we had new colors for archival inks and we had new colors for our liquid pearls. And I hope you love them. I can't wait to see what you all create with them. If you are getting crafty and you're inspired to create by anything you saw in this video, tag us on social media. So I am at LoveJessCo. Ooh, where am I? Over here? No, over here. At LoveJessCo. And then of course Ranger, and make sure you tag us. Let us know what you're up to. If you're getting crafty, if you're getting creative, we love to see what you guys are doing. So be sure to share with us. We're going to be live again at some point, so keep your eyes fixed on the Ranger channel. They're always doing something interesting, lots of great content, and there's just more to come. There's always good stuff. Loved all the greats. Oh, Patty, you're so sweet. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate you. All of you, every single one. If you have questions or anything, don't feel like you can't ask. You can always drop questions in the comments, either in the live chat as we're here, and then afterwards in the comments on the video. And we will get back to you as soon as we can. But yeah, anyway, again, I'm Jess. I loved being here with you, and I can't wait to see you guys in another video really soon. Thanks so much and have a good day.